Welcome to Down Home with Schach, where I tell you just exactly what I was inking when I created a card. Today's card was created for the Paper Players Color Challenge involving Poppy Parade, Pool Party, Very Vanilla, and Soft Suede. I created this card in a style that I like to call clean and vintage. In determining what makes a card clean and vintage, we have the clean aspects because we do have space here, which would correspond to white space. But we do indeed have a little vintage flair right across through the middle. Now, in selecting colors for a vintage card, I tend to think in terms of muted colors more than what the actual hues are. In this case, we have muted tones of Pool Party and Poppy Parade in our background designer paper. This happens to be the lovely Everyday Enchantment designer paper from our current celebration brochure. Another aspect that I look for are embellishments. And pearls, and we can see a row of pearls right across here, are perfect for giving a vintage flair to a card. Now, another thing that you'll notice, and those of you that follow my blog know this, I love to put pearls places. I really exerted some self-control and did not put a pearl here, like I normally would have. That makes it a little bit cleaner in my book. Now, if we take a look at some other embellishments, you'll see that we have a very nice Pool Party seam binding bow. To create a more feminine look, I elongated the tails and then created ruffles using glue dots to hold those ruffles in place. And if you're worried about mailing this card, these pleats just fold right down and you can put it right into an envelope. Other aspects which make it vintage are the attention to the edges. Here I used the Adorning Accents bracket edge die, and this almost gives it an Art Deco look. In fact, this whole card reminds me of something from the 1920s. This pattern, along with this pattern right here, which was created using the French Vintage celebration set, reminds me of material that my grandmother would have made into aprons. I love this set. I also love this designer paper. Some other vintage aspects, notice that I very lightly distressed the edges of this Very Vanilla panel, as well as the cardstock and the scalloped edge right up here. I used crumb cake ink, made it a very light distressing. I did not want it to look like it was burned paper. And I just simply applied it using a sponge dauber. I did, because this, when I first created it, was too bright, did pass it through the Big Shot using the Square Lattice Textured Impressions Embossing folder, and that helps to soften up the look. Plus, it adds fabulous texture. In fact, this entire card is just full of texture. You have the ribbon, you have the pearls, you have the embossing here. It's layered. And once again, all of those things are not only adding some texture, it's adding depth and dimension to the card. Another little thing which I think makes it a little different from what I typically create and also keeps it clean is I did stamp the sentiment directly onto the designer paper. This particular sentiment comes from the Sincere Salutations set, and just think how easy this would be to use this one design and then just simply switch out the sentiment depending upon the occasion. I think this would make a lovely birthday card. It would also make a nice feminine thank you card. So there you have today's card. Thanks for dropping by my kitchen. Talk with you later. Bye-bye.